Hello everyone, welcome to this series on cultural studies. And in this video, we are going to discuss Cahiers du Cinéma. Introduction. Cahiers du Cinéma is not just a film magazine, it's a cornerstone in the history of film criticism and theory. Spanning over 4 decades and comprising more than 400 issues, this journal has been one of the most influential and controversial voices in the world of cinema. Its journey, marked by shifts in editorial direction, ideological battles, and the emergence of new cinematic movements, has left an indelible mark on how we understand and critique films today. The early years. Founding and initial influence. Cahiers du Cinéma was founded in 1951 by Lord Duca, André Bazin, and Jacques Daniel Valcroze. From its inception, the journal set out to redefine the landscape of film criticism. It quickly attracted a group of young, passionate film critics who would later become the leading figures of the French New Wave, including Claude Chabrol, Jean-Luc Godard, Jacques Rivette, Eric Rohmer, and Francois Truffaut. These critics were not merely reviewers, they were theorists who viewed cinema as a serious art form deserving of rigorous analysis. In 1954, Francois Truffaut published an essay titled Une certaine tendance du cinéma français, meaning a certain tendency of French cinema, which introduced the auteur theory to the world. This theory posited that director is the true author of a film, leaving a personal identifiable stamp on the work. While the notion was not entirely new, Truffaut's articulation of it within the pages of Cahiers du Cinéma brought it to the forefront of cinematic discourse. Alongside the auteur theory, the journal also championed the concept of mise en scène, which emphasized the importance of visual composition within individual shots rather than the cumulative effect of editing. The rise of the auteur and mise en scène. The auteur theory and mise en scène became central to the identity of Cahiers du Cinéma. The journal's critics applied these concepts to a select group of French and American directors, such as Alfred Hitchcock and Jean Renoir, whom they considered to be true auteurs. However, this focus on a narrow selection of directors and a particular style of filmmaking was not without its critics. Some, like American critic John Hess, argued that Cahiers was too partial to films that shared similar worldviews, limiting the scope of its analysis. The shifts of the 1960s. A new tone and direction. The 1960s brought significant changes to Cahiers du Cinéma. As the original authors began to retire or pass away, and as many of the original critics transitioned into filmmaking themselves, the journal's tone shifted. The new generation of critics who joined Cahiers were more academic and less radical than their predecessors. This period saw the journal losing some of its earlier dynamism, as even Godard remarked in 1962 that Cahiers no longer had any new ideas and that a sense of consensus had dulled the critical edge of the publication. However, the political upheaval in France in 1968 revitalized Cahiers du Cinéma. The journal, now under new ownership following conflicts within its editorial board, took on a more politically charged and theoretical approach. Influenced by thinkers like Jacques Lacan, Roland Barthes, and Christian Metz, the journal began to explore new areas of film theory, including semiotics and psychoanalysis. The post-1968 era of Cahiers was marked by a militant tone, reflecting a deep skepticism towards Hollywood and commercial cinema, which were now seen as vehicles for the dominant capitalist ideology. the politicization of Cahiers du Cinéma. In the wake of the political events of 1968, Cahiers du Cinéma underwent a transformation. The journal became more than just a publication about film. It became a platform for political and ideological critique. Drawing heavily on Brechtian theory, Cahiers began to argue that mainstream cinema was a tool for perpetuating capitalist ideology. This was a stark departure from the journal's earlier celebration of Hollywood auteurs. The new editorial stance was more aligned with Marxist and structuralist ideas, reflecting the broader intellectual currents of the time. Conclusion: Cahiers du Cinéma remains a seminal force in film criticism. From its early days of promoting the auteur theory and mise en scène to its later, more politicized stance, the journal has continually pushed the boundaries of how films are analyzed and understood. Though it may no longer be the monolithic force it was in 1950s and 60s, Cahiers du Cinéma's influence on both film criticism and filmmaking is undeniable. Its legacy is one of challenging conventions, fostering new ideas, and shaping the way we think about cinema. So this was the discussion on the term Cahiers du Cinéma. We will meet in the next video and discuss some other topic. Until then, goodbye and thank you.